Hello, everyone. Today I am going to be talking about groundwater, including what it is and what affects the flow rate of groundwater. Groundwater is an important part of Earth's water cycle and it provides fresh water for millions of people around the world. First, we're going to start with what it is. Groundwater is water that is stored underground beneath the Earth's surface. When it rains or it snows, some of that water soaks into the ground instead of flowing away, and it moves downwards through the soil until it reaches an area where the space is in this an area underground, which is this area, and this area is called the saturated zone, and on top of that saturated zone is the water table, which is the dashed line that is shown right here. Groundwater is very important because it supplies drinking water for many communities. It helps farmers irrigate crops, and it supports rivers, especially when it doesn't really rain a lot. And a lot of groundwater is stored underground in these layers called aquifers, and which these layers are made of rock or soil that can hold the water. And wells are often like drilled into those aquifers so people can bring the underground water up to the surface. Now we're going to talk about what affects the flow rate of groundwater, and this means this means how fast it moves underground, and several things affect that. For the first thing that affects it is the type of soil or rock. Water moves faster through sand and gravel because they have larger spaces, but it moves slower through clay because it is packed tightly and more closer together. Another factor is the porosity, which means how much of the empty space there is in the ground for water to fill. And the slope underground also matters because water moves from higher areas to lower areas, so the steeper the slope can make the water flow faster. Rainfall and human activities like pumping the water from the well can also affect the groundwater flow, so it's necessary for humans to be careful and not pump too much of that water because then it can cause it to be dry, and then they're not going to be able to get any more water if there's no water underground. Overall, groundwater is water stored beneath the Earth's surface, and it is a major source of fresh water. Its flow rates depend on the type of the ground, porosity, slope, rainfall, and human activity. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you guys learned a little bit more about what groundwater is.